Good morning, guys. It's Monday and I don't work today, so I got 10 hours of sleep. I woke up feeling exhausted for some reason. I think I overslept, which is weird. We got chest day. I warmed up to 110s. We're back to 110s. My shoulder feels great, but I still don't want to push it up to 120s. So we're gonna keep going up 5 pounds, like I've been saying, and we're gonna see what we can do. Push day right now. I think I just said chest day, but push day right now. And then I'm gonna film some kitchen stuff after that. I'll have a timestamp. So yeah, let's get into it. I got 8. That last one was tough. I actually did feel my shoulder lose it a little bit on the left. I just have to control it a little more. We'll do a couple sets. On to set number 2. I think, depending on how I feel after this one, this might be the last. If this feels good, I mean, it depends. I might, if I can get 8 on this one, I'll do another set with this weight. If I can't get 8, I'll drop to the hundreds and try to get 8. I want to keep my amount of reps. Don't be afraid to drop your weight on your last set, but still go hard, just so you can get more reps. Granted, even if I only got like 5 on these, that's still a good set. I'm wearing my watch again too, and I'm like trained to whenever it buzzes, I'm like, I have to look. I haven't worn this in since I stopped running a month and a half ago. Kind of missed it. It's nice being able to see what time it is. Yeah, let's drop the weight a little bit. Try to get 8 reps again. I've come to the conclusion that if I don't plan things out, I'm not good at making plans on the spot. I talked about how sometimes you gotta do stuff on a whim. Like yesterday and Saturday, I didn't have any plan. And I was just kind of sitting there like, I can't think of anything to do. I had to give myself like 5 days business notice to figure out something to do on free days. Because I still have today and tomorrow off of work. I could go surfing alone. Surfing alone is not as fun as with friends. Sometimes you gotta do stuff alone. Anyways, let me lock back in. Shooting for 20, hoping for 10, happy with 8. No. 9.5. Let's do some flies. We bumped up to 190s on these, so we are officially back to where I was to begin with. I'm still not going like extra super deep. I think I was going too far back, and that was clicking the shoulder a little bit. So we're gonna keep it in like not a super stretch range of motion, but a good range of motion, and I think that should be good. Nine and a quarter, I want to say. Pretty good. I need to practice what I preach more. I think in one of these post-gym talks I mentioned not to worry about external factors, or like don't let things bother you. Ever since hitting 1,000 subscribers, I know it's not crazy in the grand scheme of things, but if there were 1,000 people in front of me right now and I was trying to talk, it's a little nerve-wracking. Yeah, that's kind of hitting ever since I've like realized posting these videos. It's interesting. But I gotta just keep doing it because I enjoyed doing it. And I think whatever you do, you should enjoy doing it. And that should be the main reason you keep going. And not get all hung up on everything external around it. But yeah, it is something I've noticed. It's not much, but it's still something to think about. One more, and that'll be chest. Then we'll do tries. Final set number 3. The shirt has come off. My chest feels pumped way more than normal right now. Let's go see what we can't do for some tries. It looks pretty busy over at the cable stack, but I don't work today, so I can wait. All right, I got it. While we're waiting, that's a little dark. That's fine. While we're waiting, we're gonna do lateral raises. If you're still not spamming lateral raises, what are you doing? Figure it out, man. I'm just gonna keep spamming these until the cable that I want opens up. Might as well, right? Unless I get to like 10 sets. And also, if you're wondering, the seated overhead one is also taken. Yeah, this is gonna be the final set of these I film. Sorry. But we're still waiting. I think my shoulders are crooked. I think this one was dropped more than this one. And this is the injured one. So does that mean this one's loose and this one's tight? But then this one got hurt. I don't know what's what. I'll see you on the next exercise. So I got tired of waiting. I really wanted to do push down first this time. Cable was slammed over there. I only ended up doing 4 sets. So 4 sets of the lateral raises, I think. But these are good to start with anyways. I just wanted to switch them. Yeah. We'll do 3 sets here, as usual. But hopefully the cable's warmed up. I also got to the grocery store today. Maybe I'll do, on top of the idea I have in the kitchen, I could do a mini grocery haul that I did. Maybe. I might just get groceries and then show you what I do with them. Hint, hint. Maybe. Maybe. You'll have to stick around to find out, or skip to the end. One more. Let's knock out this final set. I think I see some cables. I'm getting the cable. I swear. We're over here. This isn't exactly the one I want. There's no mirror over here. I like to kind of see how I'm looking at something. But this works. We got a cable. So we're gonna do 3 sets here. They're on the full stack right now. You'll see if I can get solid 8 reps.
It's kind of lit here. When they get in here, I'll be stealing. I'm ready. I'll go with you, bro. I'm ready.
Well, we got 8. That last rep was ugly. Let's stick with it. Set number 2. Getting tired.
That's the single, all new tiny.
Yeah.
Oh, also I'm gonna do abs after this. Forgot about that. I'm gonna pose before abs. Final set, no more tries. They're feeling pretty cooked, but I think I'm gonna drop stuff this one. Definitely dropped it. Only got 6. Cut the weight in half and keep going. Oh. Yeah, let's go pose. I'm done. So I had a comment that said it's too dark in here. So I just cranked up the ISO. I remembered to do it this time. I don't know how fuzzy it's gonna look, but hopefully that's good. Push day complete. Now we gotta do abs. Dreaded abs. I hate abs. Either way, still got a pretty good pump going. So let's check it out. That's gonna be all for the workout. I'm gonna, like I said, do abs. I'm not gonna film them. And then I'll see you at home. Peace. What's up, guys? So we got another grocery haul. It's gonna be, it is the same as the last grocery haul I did. But I'll show you the new things that I'm adding and kind of why in my head. But yeah, so starting off, per usual, bananas. I cramp up a lot, so I like to have a lot of bananas. But onto some new stuff. I got some, where's the hole? Sweet potatoes. These were, I don't know if these are yams or sweet potatoes, and I don't know if there's a difference. But I had sweet potatoes the other day, and I remembered I liked them. And I think they're pretty high in like vitamin A, which is good for your skin. So we're gonna try out some sweet potatoes this week. Then on top of that, for some veggies, I got some yellow and green zucchini squash. So I'm gonna cut that up, mix it up, and then actually do like a couple meals of meal prep with it, just because I don't want to have to divvy stuff up in the morning before work this week. So I'll make that meal prep after all of this. But yeah, so I got those. Don't know if those have any special vitamins or anything. Maybe they do. I could probably Google it, but that's fine. Everything else in these are the same. Hot sauce was on sale, so I got some habanero hot sauce. I always used to call it habanero, but there's no tilde on the N or enye. I forget what it's called, but I fully thought it was habanero, but it's habanero. Habanero. There we go. But yeah, this was on sale, so got some hot sauce. Whenever hot sauce is on sale, just stock up. It's like 0 calories, and you can throw that on anything, man. It's perfect. What else? Per usual, I got my good frozen mangoes and frozen pineapple. These are my normal frozen food. On top of those frozen, I got frozen mixed berry. So these got blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Just good antioxidants and nice to keep them frozen. And in that same realm, raspberries and blackberries were both on sale today. So I picked up some fresh ones, which I can snack on throughout the day. The frozen ones I like to throw either in oatmeal because that thaws it, or smoothies, and I don't have to worry about them going bad. These ones I can just throw in anything. So yogurt. So I'll throw that in some yogurt, or if I do my like peanut butter powder rice cakes like I showed in the last video, I'll put some of the berries on top. But yeah, so more antioxidants, vitamin C, stuff like that. Let me clear some of this stuff out really quick. Oh, and I forgot. I complained the last video that these come in packs of 7 on the inside, and I'm like, who's eating 1 per week? I didn't do the math. If you just get 2 bags of these, that is 4 rice cakes per day, because there's 4 packs, 7. So no, 7 is the perfect amount. I take that back. I always have spinach. I won't eat like egg whites plain anymore without spinach. I know it doesn't like change the flavor that much, but for some reason when it doesn't have spinach in it, I don't like egg whites, but when it does, I do. So easy way to get some spinach, and I don't know, there's vitamin, or there's calcium, probably like vitamin K or something. I think those are the leafy green ones. Salsa was a buy one get one free, so I got 2, and I already have salsa, but this you can just shove in your pantry, and then once you open it, put in the fridge. But if it's on sale, get it. Budgeting. Now, in the realm of budgeting, right? Yes, groceries can or have been expensive for a while now, but the tricks that I like to use when I'm grocery shopping is I don't go there specifically for one thing. I go there and look at what's on sale. So this week, thighs were on sale instead of chicken breast. So I got some thighs. Like realistically, it is getting into winter and it's kind of bulking season. I'm trying to get up to 200 pounds. Right now I'm 193. So I'm perfectly fine with the extra fat, but there's not that much extra fat in thighs. If you just trim off what you see, you're gonna be perfectly fine. So don't sweat it if there's only thighs, and honestly, thighs taste better. So I'm happy that I got thighs. Then usually I get 93.7 ground beef, but there was a sale on 90.10 ground beef. It's not that much more fat, pretty close to the same amount of protein, but I got 3 packs of 93 or 90.10 ground beef, and it probably saved me like 10-15 bucks. So go to the store looking for things on sale, and then if you have a freezer, shove that stuff in the freezer. Like, you can stock up on this, and like, as long as you eat it within, I mean, if it's in the freezer within a month, you don't really want to let it sit there for a year or something. Stock up on the stuff that's on sale when it's on sale, and then that's just like future proofing. If you ever forget to go to the grocery store, you can just pull it out of the freezer and cook with it. And then moving on with the whole sale thing, this flank steak was, they say it's carne asada flat meat, but flank steak or whatever you want to call this, this was the same price as the ground beef. I kind of wanted some of it, so this I'm just going to throw in the freezer, and then whenever I want to make some carne asada, I already have it, and I know that it wasn't 15, or usually it's $16 per pound, and today it was $7 per pound. So I'm going to take that opportunity, save some money, throw it in the freezer, and maybe make it on the weekend. Who knows? Finally, just some eggs. Probably the most expensive thing here, right? Actually, eggs have dropped in price. I think these are only $2.99, which they have been like $6. So savings. And then finally, just another thing that I saw was on sale is emergency. It's getting into the winter, so might as well grab some emergency just in case we start getting sick. It gets cold, and yeah, there we go. In the meantime, here are a few things that I think every gym rat or gym goer should have in their kitchen. I know right when I started out, I didn't really like know what I needed or what I wanted, so I kind of just grabbed a bunch of stuff, and from that I've learned things that I rarely use, things that I think are necessities. So while I am prepping this stuff, I will show you a couple of what I think are necessities for a kitchen, especially if you're a gym rat and you want to start learning how to cook more for yourself and meal prep. So let's get started. Number 1, a big cutting board. Now you can either go plastic or wood. I personally really like the look of wood, and I like wood, but I would recommend, if you have the space and the money, because wood is a little more expensive than the plastic ones. You can go and get these for pretty cheap at like Home Goods or even on Amazon. People say that the plastic will start getting cut up and then get into your food. I don't know how much I buy that, but then when it comes to wood, people are like, oh, but chicken will seep into the wood and then you can't like fully clean it. You have to choose which one you're going to use. What I like to do is have a big wooden one with like the drip lining on the side here. This will be good for after like meat is cooked, or if I'm cutting vegetables. And then I have an almost dedicated plastic one meant for raw meat, and this one, it's kind of beat up, so I'll just throw it in the dishwasher and that heat will cleanse it of all raw meat stuff. But yeah, so like this one was only like 50 bucks, I think. This is, you probably find one for 20 or less. But get a big cutting board because it is a pain to cut up a bunch of stuff on a small cutting board. Next thing I think every kitchen needs is a nice knife. Now, you don't have to go out. So I really love cooking. So this knife was a Christmas present, actually. This is like a pretty expensive, like $250 knife. It's a nice Damascus chef's knife. And this is great. I think everyone should have a great knife. This knife I had for multiple years. This is like 30 bucks or 50 bucks on Amazon. This has lasted years and it's still just as sharp. The difference between this one that I have found and this one is this one stays sharp longer than this one. So I have to sharpen this one less than I have to sharpen this. But if you don't want to spend $200 on a brand new knife, this will work great. I'll link this in the description. Like, this knife got me through college and like 3 years out of college. Now this was just like a family knife. This thing's really fun to use. You don't need a Chinese cleaver, but if you have it, it's really good for everything. And the best part about it is once you're done, it's really easy to scoop up stuff and move it. But this is just an extra thing. This, I think everyone should get at least an 8-inch chef's knife. Get a sharp one. It makes life so much easier. And right when you're starting off, if you've never used a sharp knife before, just start slow, but you'll realize you cut yourself less with a sharper knife because you don't have to struggle to cut into things. You can just be nice and smooth, knife doesn't slip, and I think everyone should have a sharp knife, so get a sharp knife. Next thing I think everyone should have, a set of nice bowls. So these are just plain metal bowls. You'd be surprised how much, once you start cooking, a bowl helps with certain things. Like this, I will just use it right now. A bowl this size is great for like my dog bowl meals, but also when I'm just like cutting stuff up, if I want to clear off my workspace, I can just throw it into the bowl. And I think everyone needs a good mixing bowl, so I think you should have one about this size. And then I have a couple, so I'll show you. There's the small, or this is the smallest size, right? This is honestly too small, and I rarely ever use this size bowl. This size I use basically every single day for my meals because I like to make big Chipotle bowls, and I'll just shove it in there and it lets it mix easy. This one I will use a lot for like popcorn and just marinating stuff. So you throw it in there, cover it, throw it in the fridge. This one is great, but I'll be honest, I rarely use it. The biggest thing I use it for is when I get into like a baking kick, I'll use this to proof dough. But when it comes to gym rats and what we do, I think these two size bowls are perfect. This could be your meals. It's really easy to throw stuff in there, mix it up. This will be for marinating, or if you're like making a salad, it's big enough to like toss it. Just get some bowls. They're cheap. They're just metal. These things are easy. You just throw them in the dishwasher and you don't have to worry about them. And so I mentioned a really nice thing about the cleaver, but this is a nice to have. This is not something that you need. I like having a bench scraper because then I can just grab stuff like this. Done. You don't have to worry about cutting yourself or like, nicking yourself when you're using a knife. You can just get a bench scraper, throw everything in there. This isn't a necessity. It's just a nice to have. And if you have, like, I think these are like $10. You could probably find them cheaper. Like, just get a plastic one. Just nice to have. And when it comes to like knife skills, the main things you just want to learn is when you're cutting certain things, it doesn't really matter what you're cooking. You should be cutting things to make them all cook evenly. So like when you're cutting chicken, you don't want to have like a giant chunk and then a small chunk. The small chunk is going to cook way faster than a big chunk. If you're cutting things up, just cut them into even sizes that will cook the same amount. And I am no professional chef. I've never worked in a kitchen. I'm just a guy who used to cook a lot with his parents and learned in college that I like to cook. So I've been super into cooking my own meals. I fully understand if I like to eat out all the time, but me personally, rarely ever eat out. Most of all of my meals are things that I've cooked, and I enjoy the process of cooking. It just gives me something to do too. I struggle sometimes being bored, but then if I can cook, that fills up part of my day. Now that these are all cut and put into the bowl, other things I think you need. Get yourself either a good salt shaker or a little like salt thing like this. Or if you just want to go to the store and get the plastic ones that you shake every single time, that works too. But you want an easy way to be able to salt things. Salt is like, unless you have an underlying condition, right? Salt is pretty important for the gym. It helps you get pumps. It helps you stay hydrated. Just like that, I can crack a bunch of salt into here instead of having to like open up and crack. I don't know. Just get a good one that you can control the amount that comes out. And also get a good pepper grinder. You can use the pre-ground stuff. That's perfectly fine. But there's 100% a difference between like fresh ground and pre-ground. So I'd recommend just getting a nice pepper grinder. I don't know how much this one is, but this one's pretty nice. It's from Sur La Table. And it just makes you look professional. Next on the list, depending on the size of your kitchen, this will vary. You should have some big pots. This is a non-stick. This is like a ceramic wok. right? But most of the time when you're meal prepping, you're cooking a lot of stuff. So having a really big thing to cook in is great. When it comes to ceramic, I will use this for meat and veggies, so that's what I'm going to cook this stuff in. This I use every single day for eggs in the morning. One thing to note, if you do get one of the non-stick coating ones, make sure that you get silicone utensils, because you can, if you didn't know, you can scratch the coating of this if you use harder stuff. So just get like a pack of, this one comes with these 2 small ones and then 2 bigger ones, and these tongs. So if you have non-stick, pretty important for bodybuilding because you don't want to use a bunch of oil to make sure things don't stick. So a non-stick pan, get yourself some nice silicone utensils just so you don't scratch up your pans and they last longer. Once they do get scratched up though, I do recommend going and getting new ones because they can release like the toxins that are in the non-stick coating. As long as it's not scratched, you're good. I usually replace mine even if it's not scratched after a year of cooking in it. It starts to lose its non-stick, and I have a feeling some of the stuff might start leaking out after a while. Like the more times you heat it, it's not the best for it, but we give and take. I like non-stick, so I think you should get one good non-stick pan and one good big pan for cooking a bunch of stuff. And we're gonna use this right now. Also, that goes the same with the ceramic stuff. Don't be using metal stuff on there. You can use like wooden things like that, I think. But you don't want to scratch the ceramic either. So right now, this isn't that important when it comes to just cooking some vegetables. When it comes to cooking meat, one thing I say almost every home cook, gym rat should have: instant read thermometer. This thing was literally, I think, 11 bucks on Amazon. You just stick it in and you can figure out if the meat's done or not. No one wants to eat dry chicken, so cook it to when it's done. This thing is just so useful, and yeah, it might be a handicap. It's like, oh, you can figure out the doneness by like poking it, or you can figure out how done it is by seeing how done it is. So get an instant read thermometer. They're cheap, very useful. Not necessary, but I have a fancy olive oil thing. If you want to impress people, get a fancy olive oil thing. In reality, this is pretty cheap olive oil inside of it though. Let's see, that was a giant amount of vegetables, and they all fit evenly in this pan. So having a giant pan like this, so nice. And I don't know if you saw how easily it cut with a knife. Super smooth, super nice. Just makes your life easier. Final few things that I think every gym home cook should have in their house. This one is a must, especially if you are tracking. Get yourself a food scale. If you're trying to be a gym rat and you're trying to track your food, what are you doing without a gym scale? Or a gym scale? What are you doing without a food scale? If you're gonna track anything, like, yeah, I guess you can eyeball it or do it by volume or something. Just get a scale. Maybe 20 bucks. If you're getting super into the gym and you're getting into counting your food, tracking your food, this should be your first purchase, I think. And hey, if you get into baking, you should have a food scale anyways, because baking is a lot of measurements by weight. I'm into baking. It doesn't really go well with cutting, but since bulking season's coming up, maybe I'll bake some stuff. But yeah, get yourself a food scale. Even if it's not tracking every little thing, I think you should still make sure that you're hitting your protein, and that's what the food scale's for. And then finally, whether it be Tupperware, these like deli containers, these deli containers are great. Like these ones are perfect portions for meat. If you saw my last prep video, I like to prep my ingredients instead of do full prep meals. So these will fill one meal perfectly. And then when I'm going to work or something, I'll have one of these filled with rice, one of these filled with meat, and then one of these filled with like lettuce and stuff that I wouldn't want to microwave. So I can microwave my meat and my rice, and then I'll throw it in here with lettuce, salsa, avocado, and stuff like that. The lettuce doesn't get all wilty, and I can shake it up just like a Chipotle bowl, and boom, I have a Chipotle bowl at work. When you do everything in these, you kind of have to make it to where you're either going to eat it cold or eat it warm. If I do these combined ingredients and like half meal, I can get the best of both worlds. But yeah, I think everyone should, you just get yourself some good Tupperware. Don't waste your food. If you have some left, save it. But yeah, I really like these deli containers. You can get on my Amazon. Meal prep containers, you can get them anywhere. Now, a couple more things that are nice to haves, but you don't need it. These are just things that I use every single day. I personally use a toaster every single day because my breakfast consists of avocado toast on an English muffin, and I use that every day. Not everyone needs a toaster, but it's one of the like single-use appliances that I will always use, I think, so I think it's worth it. Another nice to have. I used to be a hater. I'm not gonna lie. I used to hate it. But having an air fryer is very nice. That's all I'm gonna say. If you can afford it and you have room, have an air fryer, very nice. Now, if you have an oven, get yourself a good cookie tray, because this is meal prep God. You can throw anything on here and throw it in there and cook it. Just Google how long you should cook something, how hot it should be, and boom. But this is only really worth it if you have an oven. I know some people don't have ovens. Cookie tray. And the final and very nice to have, but I fully understand if you don't have room or don't have money for it, get yourself a grill. Having a grill will make life with meal prepping so much simpler, because first off, it's outside. You don't have to worry about the smoke or cleaning up inside. You can grill all your meats, you can grill all your vegetables, you can grill all this stuff. Obviously, I live in San Diego, so I can grill year round. I know most people don't have that luxury or don't even have space for a grill, but having a grill is a very much nice to have when you're trying to meal prep, cook meat, and just do a whole bunch of cooking. So this is like the very last of the very nice to haves. But so that's most of the things that I think a bodybuilder or a gym rat or anyone getting into cooking should have in their kitchen. Obviously I didn't go over forks, knives, and spoons and things like that, because I assume that if you have a kitchen, you have at least one plate, one fork, one knife, and one spoon. If not, what are you doing? Those are my cooking essentials, things that I use every single week when I'm cooking. Let's recap. First off, I think everyone should have a really nice knife. Doesn't have to be super expensive. Just get a sharp knife. Get a big cutting board. You can choose which one you want. You could get multiple, but bigger cutting boards just make it so much easier to cut stuff. Having to mess with a small cutting board sucks. So big cutting board. Get some bowls. Big bowl, medium-sized bowl. Medium-sized bowl is great for bigger meals that have a lot of volume. Big bowl is great for mixing stuff, marinating stuff. And if you're serving a salad to someone, you'll have a bowl. So get glass, metal, whatever you want. Big bowl. Get some Tupperware. Always, you're just gonna need to save your meals that you cook. So decide which Tupperware works for you. Mine are a mix of deli containers and meal prep containers. That doesn't work for you, just get meal prep containers. Get some glass Pyrex ones like these if you want. It doesn't matter. That's going to be up to you what works best for your meal schedule and how you like to cook your meal. Nice salt shaker and pepper grinder just makes it easier to cook stuff quickly, and just have it near the stove to where you can work while you're cooking. Two nice pans, one smaller non-stick one bigger one to cook more stuff. Oh, that also reminds me. One other thing that every gym rat should have: a boiling pot with a lid. Now, this comes with two things. Either get a boiling pot with a lid, or get a rice cooker. I have a rice cooker in there, I just don't want to pull it out right now. Every gym rat, every fitness dude, you're gonna be cooking rice. So, rice cooker is the easiest way to do that. That is one thing that I think everyone else should have too. If you don't want to own a rice cooker or don't have the money to own a rice cooker, just get a pot. I showed you how to cook rice in the last grocery haul video that I did. Very simple. But yes, you need one of these if you're a gym rat, because you're probably, even if you don't think so, you're going to be eating rice. It's nice to have a bench scraper. It's nice to have a toaster. Nice to have air fryer. Get yourself very inexpensive meat thermometer. And yeah, if you have room for it, go get a grill. Those are my go-tos for things that I'll use every single day cooking. I hope that helps someone out there. I know right when I started cooking, I didn't really know what I needed, and I learned throughout the process of a couple of years of cooking, like, oh, I use this stuff a lot and I rarely ever touch this stuff. Just my essentials that I will use every single week. And that's about it. I'm gonna continue to cook this stuff up. Like I said, I'm just gonna cook up these zucchini squash. I'm gonna dice up the sweet potato, and then I'm going to cook up the chicken and throw it into a bowl. And that's going to be my dog bowl for 2 weeks or a couple days, my work week. Very simple. I like to keep it easy. It is pretty easy. Just don't overcomplicate it, and you'll figure it out. And one last thing, if you want, get yourself an apron, because then you can look like this while you're cooking. And also check out this apron I got. All right, I'll see you later. Peace.